Hi folks, there's a magazine in these here United States of America called Time magazine. And at one time Time magazine was the premier, most influential news magazine throughout the nation, if not throughout the world. And they reported on events in the nation and throughout the world. Well, within the last 30 years, that magazine has been hijacked, or I should say surrendered, submitted to political correctness, the leftists in this country, and the Democratic Party. So their readership has diminished immensely, so has their importance in gaining news information. Well, at one time they used to have something called Man of the Year, selecting the person or persons who had the most influence upon the world political arena within the previous year. Well, due to political correctness and then their feminist, they now changed it to Person of the Year. That's it, kids. No more Man of the Year. It's Person of the Year. Well, this year they've decided to let people vote on who the Person of the Year should be. And they have the poll on their website. I'll have a link to it in the description. As of making this video, here are some of the results. Number one, at 41,000 votes, is the 99%. Basically, those are those Occupy Wall Street people. You know who they are. The one who have been involved in gunfights, rapes, underage molestation, defecating on police vehicles. Those upstanding citizens, the derelicts of society. 41,000 votes. And then number two is Anonymous, which is another name for Occupy Wall Street, coming in with 23,000 votes. So add the two together, the Occupy Wall Street crowd has something like 64,000 votes. Number three, I think is an Argentine soccer player, 21,000 votes. Then we go to number four, the Arab youth with the Arab Spring, the protesters, at 11,000 votes. Number five, Steve Jobs at 9,000 votes. Number six, President Barack Obama at 6,000 votes. And number seven, the Fukushima 50 at 5,000 votes. Number seven at 5,000 votes. Number one and two totaling 64,000 votes. There's a 59,000 vote difference. Now, who are the Fukushima 50? Excellent question. On the 11th of March, 2011, when the tsunami earthquake slammed into the Japanese nation, it affected a nuclear power plant at Fukushima, leaking radiation. The workers, hundreds of them, dedicated to their work, dedicated to their job and to the nation to prevent further leaking, stayed there working amongst this radiation. Well, there were now a group of workers who have retired, senior workers from nuclear plants around the country, senior citizens resting comfortably at home. They volunteered. They said, let us go into the nuclear plant. Let the young workers go home. We'll go into the nuclear plant. We're not concerned about the radiation. And here's why. Those young folks working with the radiation could have a negative effect upon their health years down the road. It can also cause birth defects and children to be born and grandchildren down the road, as would happen with the people in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So these senior workers went in there, volunteered, and said, we'll go in there and face the risk for a couple of reasons. By the time, if the nuclear radiation has a negative impact upon our health, we would have died already by natural causes, because that's how long it takes to affect you. Also, we're not having any more children. We have our children. We have our grandchildren. So we do not have to worry about birth defects and deformities down the road. These men are unselfish. For the good of the company, for the good of the nation, and for the good of their fellow citizens, they volunteer to work in that nuclear hazard. And they are number seven, compared to those derelicts and Occupy Wall Street. There's something wrong with this picture, folks. And what's wrong with this picture? Time magazine. What's wrong with this picture? Liberals. What's wrong with this picture? Political correctness. But we all know who the real person men of the year are is the Fukushima 50. Alright folks, we'll see you. God bless you. God bless America. God bless the nation you have to be in, you happen to be in. And God bless those brave, unselfish souls of the Fukushima 50. See you folks.